All right, next I'd like to explain the use of the Auditor feature for reviewing your prescriptions dispensed. So if I select the Auditor from the main screen, it brings up your transaction report types. There's 3 available. You're only going to see 2 of them because I've deleted my inventory transactions. So you've got transactions and daily usage by count type, which is more of a summary of the daily usage of the product. The report depth shows how far back you want to look in the history of the icon to review your transactions. The default's 15 days, but you can change it up to 180 days if you like. Your filters allow you to search for a certain prescription if you want to search for one, or you can do reports based on a number of different parameters, such as a certain drug number or a certain username or a certain fill status, what have you. Most typically, people would search for a certain prescription number in order to find the picture that was saved for that given prescription. So if I select View Data without having keyed in any search criteria, it's going to show you all the transactions that were performed recently. They're all in chronological order, and if you scroll over, you'll see that these were performed at 11:20, and you can scroll backwards in time, so all of the different transactions. So there's a wide range of fields that are saved. One of them is the fill duration, so it gives you a analysis of the time spent filling prescriptions on the icon. So if you're reviewing that, take into account that the icon timer keeps going even if you get an interruption. One of the beauties of the icon is it doesn't lose track of where it was at. If you get interrupted while you're counting pills, you can come back to a prescription and finish it. It'll show you right where it was at. Available fields here, you got your prescription number, the drug number you were supposed to dispense, the name of that drug, the UPC of the one you did dispense, the drug number of that one, the target quantity you were supposed to dispense, the filled quantity, the fill status, it was filled complete, there was a back count, it was a second count, all the different fill types, the count method, there's icon counts, and there's manual counts, or combo counts is another one. That's when you fill a full bottle plus some loose pills. You got your date, day of week and time, fill duration, a username for when we're logging in, and then in your schedule classification for controlled substances. And if you have used any full bottles for doing your dispense, it records those off to the side here. So once you've selected the Auditor, if you select one of the given transactions, you can press View Tray Photo and it'll show you the picture that was saved when that prescription was dispensed. If you enlarge that by pressing the diagonal arrow key at the bottom center, you can now view all the individual pills very clearly, and you can see there's pill 1, 2, 3, and so on. And if you scroll down, you will notice that some of the pills are outlined in green. Those are the pills that it recognized as being on their side, whereas the ones outlined in blue are the ones recognized as pills being flat. So if we page down using this button, you can see there's pill number 60, the last pill in the prescription, at the bottom of the tray. There's the name of the drug, the stock item, which is the UPC code, the drug number you were supposed to dispense, and the one you did dispense, which in this case were identical. And at the top of the screen, you've got your prescription number. This happened to be a second count, so I was doing a double count of a controlled substance. It was supposed to be 60, it was 60 on one tray full at this time and date, and the user login was not used. So this photo can be very useful in eliminating your habitual offenders who are coming back to your pharmacy trying to get free controlled substances. We've had many pharmacies come back to us and thank us for this, saying after they showed this to the people who tend to do that, they've stopped coming back trying to get free pills from them. So if I wanted to save this so that I could email it to somebody or print it out, I would just hit the Save button and it would warn me that it isn't recognizing a USB flash drive. So if I go ahead and plug in a flash drive over here, and now if I press the Save button, it tells me one image was saved. So it saved a copy of that picture there. So now I could plug that flash drive into a computer and then email it off, print it off, whatever I needed to do. So if I back out of here, so typically what you're going to want to do is go into the Auditor filters, select the transaction filter RX number, type in the RX number of interest, hit OK, and then hit View Data, and at that point in time, you would only see the transaction that matched that filter selection, being the RX number typically. That would narrow down your choices. You might see a fill of that transaction or that RX number that was done this month, maybe one the previous month if it was filled multiple times. Or if you did a partial fill and then a remainder fill, you would see both transactions. You could select which ones you wanted to see and view those photos for the selected one. Another valuable use of those tray photos, we've had several pharmacies come back to us and tell us that they were contacted by the Board of Pharmacy in their state saying that they were doing an investigation based on a complaint from a patient claiming that they were given the wrong drug. In those cases, both pharmacies that we've heard this from have indicated that when they emailed that picture back to the Board of Pharmacy, they accepted that as proof that the pharmacy had done their due diligence and dispensed the correct drug, and they dismissed the case without any further investigation having to be done. Normally that process would occupy many hours of the pharmacist's time and could end up in causing fines to be levied regardless of whether the pharmacy was actually at fault. In another case, we had a pharmacy call us saying that a hospital called them because they had a patient in a bed because they had dispensed the wrong drug. In that case, the pharmacy emailed the prescription photo back to the hospital, and the hospital then showed it to the patient, and the patient recanted and admitted that they grabbed the wrong medicine out of their cabinet, and it wasn't the pharmacy that had misdispensed the drug. So in that case, a lawsuit was avoided through the use of the Icon's pill tray photo. One more thing, on the transaction screen you can press the Save All, in which case it will download all of the pictures and the reports that you're seeing on the screen to a CSV file that you could import that into Excel or some other database spreadsheet in order to view the data, sort it, do whatever you want to do with it, and share it with others if you'd like to. That concludes our explanation of the Icon Auditor.